Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Tagalog Summary by Robert Kiyosaki. In our contemporary society, nararanasan sa karamihan ngayon ang pains dulot ng recent pandemic. We're at an unemployment crisis while dealing with the rising cost of living while bumababa naman ang quality of life na available sa atin. Even if my financial literacy at my sources of passive income tayo, sadyang hindi talaga sapat ang cash flow natin. Here is a man named Robert Kiyosaki, an American investor, businessman, author, motivational speaker, and financial commentator who rose to fame in recent years. Nanalo niya ang mga puso at isip ng karamihan sa mga successful investors ngayon dahil sa kanyang self-published book na Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Do you want to know something though? Despite all the success, and visionary investor na si Robert Kiyosaki wasn't raised in a wealthy background. Sa totoo lang, ang kanyang pamilya was just like most of us ngayon. They were people na nagtatrabaho but they didn't have the best financial education, and kadalasan din nag-struggle sila when it came to money. So then, paano naging mayaman si Robert Kiyosaki despite all this? Let's take a look at his story as he explained it sa one of his best sellers, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But before that, don't forget to like, subscribe, at mag-comment kung ano ang mga recent success stories nyo. With that said, let's get on with the video. Si Robert Kiyosaki ay sinilang sa Hilo, Hawaii noong April 1947. In 1957, at age 9 years old, ang batang si Robert ay nag-a-attend ng prestigious public school kung saan lahat sa mga anak ng mayayaman were sent to learn. Ang mga parents ng mga batang ito were composed of the top-tier individuals ng society kagaya ng mga doctors, lawyers, business owners, at bankers. Napansin ni Robert na ang mga rich kids would purposely separate themselves sa kanya dahil his family couldn't afford the latest collection of toys and bikes kagaya sa kanila. So one day, pumunta si Robert sa office ng kanyang father na may PhD at meron ding iba't ibang university degrees. Dad, can you tell me how to get rich? Unfortunately, hindi alam ng kanyang father ang sagot because he wasn't even rich himself. He told Robert, "Use your head, son. Stay in school. Get good grades so you can find a safe and secure job." Ang father figure niya is what he will refer to as Poor Dad sa book niya. Pero ironically, hindi siya literally poor. In fact, he was making a lot of money. But in the end sa story, this man's financial life takes a turn for the worse. Now, my friend si Robert nung bata pa siya named Mike, and which ang father ni Mike will be referred to as Rich Dad in the context sa story. Rich Dad started mentoring sina Robert at yung anak niyang si Mike about to really become rich. Pero at this point in time, Rich Dad wasn't really rich in terms sa pera, but he soon became one of the wealthiest men sa Hawaii. So then, ano kaya ang itinuro ni Rich Dad kay Robert? Rich Dad poured a strong sense of financial education na nagsilbing foundation for the many principles and concepts around financial literacy and how to become truly wealthy. To start off, ang first lesson na itinuro niya sa kanila is dapat alam nila ang difference sa asset at liability, and that ang dapat i-prioritize nyo ay ang assets. If gusto nyo talagang maging mayaman, this is all you need to understand the most. You see, in reality, the rich acquire assets samantalang ang mga poor and middle-class people acquire liabilities. But sometimes, namamali sila sa pag-determine and they list their liabilities under sa kanilang assets. The primary cause ng financial struggle ayon sa book na ito is simply not knowing ang difference between a liability and an asset. Just to remind you in case nakalimutan nyo na asset puts money in your pocket habang ang liability takes money away from your pocket. For instance, tignan natin ang cash flow pattern ng karaniwan na citizen. Normal people kagaya natin earn our income based on our job. And normally, our expenses are composed of stuff kagaya ng food, clothes, entertainment, and transportation. Most of us don't have assets at this point sa ating buhay, but we sure do have liabilities that constantly take money galing sa bulsa natin. Mga bagay kagaya ng bayad sa car, taxes, at credit cards. Now tignan natin on how the cash flow pattern looks sa mga mayayaman. Instead of looking for more ways para kumita ng pera from their normal job as the only source of income, Rich people prioritize the buying and owning of assets na naglalagay ng pera sa kanilang bulsa in the form of passive income. Passive income is the kind of income na hindi nagre-require sa iyo na i-trade ang oras at effort mo para lang magkapera. So in other words, you'd be earning money kahit natutulog kayo. Halimbawa ng mga sources of passive income ay ang mga automated businesses, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, incoming generating real estate, royalties, and anything else na may value that produces income. As sinabi natin earlier in the story, poor dad was making a lot of money galing sa kanyang income, pero ang expenses niya always kept up with the money he was making, never allowing him to invest sa mga assets. As a result, ang liabilities niya kagaya ng car payments at credit card debt grew greater over time. At ito ang dangerous situation when ang income natin equals our expense and our assets are less than our liabilities. Unfortunately, ito ang sanhi ng pag-accumulate ng debt in poor dad even after namatay na siya. On the other hand, ang financial statement ni rich dad shows the results of a life dedicated sa pag-invest and pag-minimize sa kanyang liabilities. So may income siya that is greater than his expense because his assets are greater than his liabilities. This is essentially why the rich are getting richer. Ang assets nila generate more than enough income than their expenses with ang remaining balance reinvested pabalik sa assets na column. Ang assets nila continue to grow and therefore their income grows with it. The bottom line is, both dads worked hard, pero the main difference nila is they had opposing attitudes and ideas when it came sa pag-handle sa kanilang finances. Poor dad recommended to study hard so you can find a good company to work for. Rich dad recommended to study hard so you can find a good company to invest in. Poor dad said, "The reason I'm not rich is because I have kids." Rich dad said, "The reason I must be rich is because I have you kids." One said, "When it comes to money, play it safe and don't take risk." The other said, "Learn to manage your risks." Poor dad said, "I can't afford that." Rich dad said, "How can I afford that?" Although pareho silang may respeto sa pag-aaral, they disagreed on what their priority was to learn. Robert learned from rich dad that the truth tungkol sa general population, their lives are run forever by two emotions, fear and greed, that keep you stuck sa pattern ng get up, go to work, pay bills. Get up, go to work, pay bills. Dahil sa fear nila, nanatili sila nakakulong sa trap that has them working, earning money, in the hope na ang fear of not having money ay mawawala. Sa halip na i-confront nila ang fear, they react emotionally instead na gamitin nila ang kanilang ulo. The second desire, also known as greed, is the second reason as to why nagtatrabaho ang tao para sa pera. They desire money dahil sa joy na ina-assume nila they could buy. Pero ang joy na dulot sa pagbili ng bagong stuff is usually short-lived and will soon need more money na naman for more joy, more pleasure, and more security. Para mag-handle sa ating emotions, handle our fear. Kailangan natin malaman ang power sa pera, the power of money. Unfortunately, most schools don't teach us about this. And if you don't learn about it, you'll forever become a slave to money. Ang kakulangan sa financial literacy can lead us to so much debt, so much fear that can lead us the biggest trap of life, which is constantly working. Rich dad said, "Learn to use your emotions to think, not think with your emotions." This is our reality for most people. Ang profession nila is their income. Para sa mga mayayaman, their assets are their income. I-apply ang mga lessons na ito to your life until you can confidently say, "I don't work for money, money works for me." Once again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment below and we'll see you in our next video.